Batman isn't exactly known for being the best father that there is. After all, he trains his children to fight psychopaths, then he puts them in colourful costumes to attract the most attention when they fight criminals who are armed with machine guns. So if social services did get involved, there wouldn't even be a debate here, the kids would just be taken away. But Batman isn't all bad, and he has had his moments of being a good father. Now, this video isn't about the times that Batman saved Robin from a villain's clutches, or that he rescued him from a death trap, or even gave them a house or money. No, those things are easy for Batman, and they come naturally to him. Instead, this video is about the times that Batman was just a good, ordinary father, when he let his emotional walls down and was a human being. After all, Batman is not one for emotion, but children do need love and support from their father, and Batman doesn't always give them this. In fact, it's quite the opposite. He rarely shows them love and usually treats his children more like soldiers than sons. He would also prefer to cut off contact with them rather than just have an emotional moment with them and let himself be vulnerable. But he has had these emotional moments on occasion, and we are going to go over the 5 best times that Batman was a good father to his sons. And of course, by sons, I mean Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne, of course, being his biological son, and the other 3 were actually adopted in the main DC continuity. Batman stays home. Back when Jason Todd was Batman's Robin, the 2 of them were going to go out on patrol, but unfortunately, Jason Todd was so sick he could barely stand. And even Batman had to admit that he couldn't let Jason come out with him. So Batman allowed Jason to stay home and rest, which in itself is good. But what happened next is possibly the kindest Batman ever was to Jason Todd. Rather than leave him at home alone, Batman decided to stay home from patrolling and watch movies with his son, which is insanely out of character for Batman, who usually never gives up on his mission to fight crime, not even for one night, often at the detriment of his personal relationships. But on this occasion, he did. And in Red Hood and the Outlaws, it's revealed that this is actually Jason Todd's happiest memory in his life. The memory of the time that Batman cared more about him than he did about his mission. Basketball with Dick. In the show Young Justice, Batman and Dick Grayson have quite a good relationship for the most part, but there are still issues. And in the episode Downtime, after the team has had a particularly bad mission, Batman wants to speak with Aqualad. Now, naturally, Robin stays, as he's used to being privy to these moments. But Batman sends Dick Grayson away, as he has something private that he needs to discuss with Aqualad. Now, this annoys Dick, as he feels that he was being brushed off, and that Batman was deliberately excluding him. And Batman, in a rare case of actually understanding human beings, realises this. And so he decides to interrupt Dick Grayson's normal training, so that the 2 of them can play basketball like father and son. It's a very touching moment between the 2, and it's Batman's way of showing that he does care about Dick Grayson. He genuinely just needed to discuss something private and personal with Aqualad. There is also another moment in Young Justice in the 3rd season when Dick Grayson gets sick after a mission, and Batman is there throughout his recovery to make sure that Dick gets through it okay. Or rather, Bruce Wayne is there, out of costume, which lets Black Lightning figure out that Bruce Wayne is Dick's father. A moment that showed that Batman cared more about Dick's well-being than his own secret identity. First Nemesis. In the show Harley Quinn, Damian Wayne features heavily in one episode, where Damian wants to make Harley Quinn his nemesis, because all the other Teen Titans have already got on their own nemesis, and Damian is feeling left out. Of course, Harley Quinn doesn't want him as a nemesis, he's just a child after all. But Batman helps entertain the idea, and even Superman helps to keep the illusion alive. But after Harley Quinn reveals on national television that the 2 of them are not each other's nemesis, Damian Wayne is publicly embarrassed and depressed. And so Batman tries to cheer him up by giving him a sandwich. Damian knows that Alfred made the sandwich, which does undercut it, but the point is, Batman cared enough to try and cheer him up. And he even privately admits to Damian that he didn't get his first nemesis till he was much older than Damian. Now, whether this is true or not, who can say, but the most important thing to remember is that Batman is letting his emotional walls down and trying to relate to Damian as his father, all to make him better. So it's quite a sweet moment between the 2 of them. Hospital visit. In Batman Beyond, Batman's relationship with his kids is arguably the worst of all of the different dimensions. Dick Grayson doesn't really speak to him after Batman got his ex-girlfriend Barbara Gordon pregnant. I'll put a link in this video in case you want to watch the full story, though I should say this was actually later retconned. And as for Damian Wayne, the two don't speak at all either, and Damian has taken over from Ra's al Ghul and become the new head of the League of Assassins. Jason Todd is essentially not mentioned at all, but clearly they are not close. And as for Tim Drake, well, Batman failed him, and Tim was kidnapped and tortured by the Joker, and mutated and brainwashed into thinking he was the Joker's son. Now after this, Tim retired from being a hero, and did actually try to reconnect with Bruce Wayne, but Batman being Batman, he just pushed him away, and the two haven't spoken to each other in a couple of decades. That is until the Joker returns, and the Joker takes over Tim Drake's body, and though he is ultimately defeated, Tim is of course gravely injured in the process. And rather than let the cycle of neglect continue, Bruce Wayne visits Tim Drake in hospital to make sure that he is okay. There's no ulterior motive at play, no manipulation like there usually is when Batman does something nice. Batman just wants to make sure that his son is okay, and he did actually adopt Tim Drake in this universe. Now to be fair, this is a little bit too late and it's a little bit too small, but Tim is gracious and accepts it, allowing Bruce Wayne back into his life. And it does show us that no matter how many mistakes you've made with people in your life, it's never too late to say that you're sorry and try to make amends. Movie night. In the New 52 animated films, Damian and Batman's relationship is strained to say the least. In fact, Damian not only runs away from home in Batman vs Robin, but the two of them even beat the crap out of each other. And Batman won't even let the world know that he's his son, but instead lets them all think that he is just an adoptive ward. And Batman continually makes threats to send Damian away to a Swedish boarding school. Threats he is clearly serious about following through on. So like I say, things are rather strained between the two of them. But there is one moment where the two actually get along. Bruce Wayne discovers that Damian is reading through the Charles Dickens novels, and he tells him that he did the very same thing when he was his age. And so the two of them sit down together in the theatre and watch some Dickens. Now, it's not an earth-shattering moment, of course. In fact, it might actually be the weakest one on this list. But it is a sweet moment between the two of them. Possibly the best father and son moment that the two of them have in the New 52 animated universe. And it's actually one of the few moments they share together out of uniform where they're actually happy. And this shows that the two of them do actually have a relationship and could even get along with each other. Now, these aren't the only father-son moments that the Robins and Batman share, but these ones are the very best. And personally, I think the most powerful one is Batman staying home from patrol to be with Jason Todd, as Batman never misses a night of fighting crime. Even when he's broken half the bones in his body, he still forces himself to go out and fight criminals. But he did do it on this occasion, which clearly shows how much he genuinely cares about Jason Todd. But which one of these is your favourite? And are there any other moments that you think should have been on this list? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and I'd just like to quickly remind everyone that we have some merchandise available on our store, the prices of which have just been reduced, and I'd like to say thanks to all of you who have donated to the Needle Mouse Productions page on Patreon. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.